Championship Sunday has come to an end, and what an exciting day of golf we've had at JCB. It was a Legion 13 takeover. Rahm Hatton taking on Jon Rahm head-to-head at the end of the day. But it was Jon Rahm who became the Live UK individual champion, along with Legion 13 for their fourth team victory this season. We're here to discuss that and more. Welcome to the Club 54 post-round show. I'm your host, Christian Crosby, and joining me is Suen Hang and Don Boulay. And OMG, what a championship Sunday we just witnessed. Jon Rahm with his first ever individual championship win. We've been waiting for this all season, and we finally got it today. And Legion getting their fourth season win. I mean, how are you guys feeling after watching today?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, you know what? The Live Golf League delivers every single event, doesn't it? I mean, what an incredible finish there. We got one of the best players in the world, two of the best players in the world actually going head-to-head. And in fact, Cam Smith ended up in the tie for second with that birdie on the last. So it's just fantastic.
And that also took, by the way, speaking of Cam Smith, that took Ripper to a solo second, I believe. So, you know, this is the many things that's so unique about our league is that, you know, you have Jon Rahm standing on the side of that green on 18. In some ways, you don't really know what's going through his mind, but you're like, do you want him to make this putt? Do you not want him to make this putt? Your teammates, but your individuals. It's just a unique thing that we have out here, which is so, I don't know. It's conflicting, to say the least.
It is, and you know what, Rahm Hatton, I feel for him. He's been playing beautiful golf. In fact, since Miami, he's been the best player in our league based on the strokes gained metrics. He's gaining 2.5 shots per round. And look at that emotion. You telling me that doesn't mean a lot, this win for Jon Rahm? He's in tears.
Yeah, you know, he said in his press conference about how aware he is of how difficult it is to win out here. And the caliber of players, the strength of field, he knows. But he's such a competitor, and he wants to win out here. He's come so close all season long, 9 top 10s. You know, basically gone through a foot injury, had to withdraw from the U.S. Open, and then to come back and win in such fashion.
I think he probably wanted Rahm Hatton to make that putt.
Yeah.
They go to a playoff, but he wanted to beat Tyrrell in the playoff.
I mean, he did say to me in his post-round interview when I got to chat with him, and he said, you know, in some ways I almost wish he did make that putt and we battle it out through a playoff. But I don't know, man. I mean, both of them, between the both of them, I mean, John 3-putting the 17th and then Tyrrell 3-putting the 18th. It's just it just proves how difficult those last two holes are.
And there was great drama because when John missed that putt on 17, Tyrrell was standing on the tee and he saw it. And even if he had his eyes closed, the crowd behind him watched it, and they were really encouraging Tyrrell.
They had everyone on the edge of their seats, including me. I almost fell off of my chair as I was watching it back here. But let's get into that individual leaderboard. Let's pull it up here. Dom, Suen, break this down. We've just finished our championship Sunday, and there is Jon Rahm at the top of this thing. Break it down.
Oh my goodness, Joaquin Neiman. We have to talk about this guy. You can't shake him. Honestly, he's there all the time, every single week. He's got to be one of the, if not the best performer of our league.
Look at that leaderboard. Rahm, Neiman, Smith, Hatton, Paul Casey, Tungali, Matthew Wolf, Taylor Gooch, Oosthuizen. It's a remarkable leaderboard.
DeChambeau.
You turn on to watch those guys play golf, especially when they're competing for a win.
Now, we've been talking about Jon Rahm, and I hope we keep talking about Jon Rahm. What an incredible day from him. We have some highlights from today. I would love for you guys to take us through it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Jon Rahm. Take us through it, Suen.
Wow, I tell you what, it was a joy watching him today. His ball striking entire week has been so solid. Dom, I know you and I talked about it. We watched him during the practice round, and we said he is hitting it way too good to not win this week. He shot 800 on Friday, proved it so, and today, honestly, pretty flawless golf.
Yeah, I mean, I watched him on day one, and he putted beautifully. And you knew, you know, the way he was hitting it, if his putter just semi-behaved, he was going to be in with a shout this week.
Now, that tee shot on the 12th was huge. It was a pivotal moment, a big decision they had to make on that tee box. Made a birdie there, and now this, another eagle putt. Tap in for birdie, back-to-back birdie. That was kind of a moment in the competition that really turned the heat on the guys behind us, including Andy Ogletree at that point.
For him to get it done on one of the most challenging courses that we have played on, it's got to feel good, right?
Oh, 100%. I think any win on any golf course feels really good, but when you have that caliber of players on the top of that leaderboard, and to be able to close and to be able to finish strong and did what he did today was, I mean, he's got to have so much confidence going into the Olympics next week.
And you know what? Kudos to JCB Golf and Country Club. At the start of the week, we were all, a little bit undecided on how this course was going to play. And 13 under, it provided a great challenge. And obviously, the great players always rise to the top. And usually they do that on great golf courses. And the proof is in the pudding.
Now, John had a lot of highlight moments today. Is there one that really stands out to you that was a pivotal moment for John that really made his day today? Was there a moment that stuck out to you?
Well, like I said, I think it has to be that drive on 12. I think at that point he was still chasing the lead. He was chasing Andy. Tyrrell was right behind him. And it was one of those par fours and one of those tee shots that really just makes a huge difference. You can tell the confidence of a player. He chose to go for the green there, and it paid off, and it gave him some momentum. John is very much a momentum player. Once he feels it, he runs with it. It's like lighting fire with kerosene. He'll just keep going. And that's exactly, to me, that was a turning point of the day.
Yeah, I'm sure it was, and like you say, momentum is such a huge thing in golf. I remember Nicky Price once saying they shouldn't call this game golf, they should call it momentum.
That's a good one, Dom.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at some social media here from the fans. Make sure you guys hashtag Live Broadcast. This says the wait for a first win on Live Golf is finally over for Jon Rahm. Fans are excited about it. Here's another one here. Back in the winner's circle, baby. Jon Rahm claims his first Live Golf individual victory. You got to love to see it, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's taken a lot longer than we thought, and obviously because of that, it means more. Pro Golf Critic, he was here on the premises on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. He's a big supporter of ours.
All right, let's talk a little bit about Tyrrell Hatton, who, correct me if I'm wrong, it seems like he gets better and better and better every single round I watch him play. Is this true, and why?
Well, like I just said, since Miami, based on the data that we got, he is performing the best of anybody of the 54 players. Wow. So, yeah, he is getting better all the time. And it's already a high bar he started on. He is playing, I think, some of the best golf of his career.
I have to agree, Dom.
Here are Tyrrell Hatton's highlights from Championship Sunday. Take us through it.
Yeah, he drove it in the rough, so he had no choice but to lay up. And then, he's been hitting these magnificent wedges all week. He's probably had 6 or 7 tap-ins this week.
I have to say, he's one of the best iron players right now on our league.
Watch this. I mean, I said to him when he walked off this tee, I said, lovely shot. I said, but you pulled it a little bit. And I got a giggle out of him. This was the best shot of the day for him. He just doubled the 6th. I mean, hit a terrible second shot on 6. It was an awful lie. That's a tough pin to get to. And how he read the lie was just magnificent. And he went for the green on 12 with a 3-wood. I don't think he caught it perfectly. It just stopped short. And it was a tight lie, too. And watch this. Once again, drove it in the rough, couldn't go for the green, left himself a good angle, and another magnificent wedge shot. But, unfortunately, every week there's a winner and there's someone who doesn't win. And unfortunately for Tyrrell, it was him this week. But he can take so many positives from this week. He's probably not feeling that way right now.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, when he missed that putt on 18th, you can just feel the hearts breaking. The crowds behind us, obviously, is one of the home favorites, and a lot of people were cheering on him, and things got really exciting in the last 20 minutes. And when he missed that putt, you can just hear heart shattering.
Yeah.
You certainly feel for Tyrrell, but Dom, like you said, I think so many positives to take with him this week.
Yeah, and you know what? He'll have a couple of sleepless nights over it, and once middle of next week comes by, he'll be over it. It's not going to affect his game. It was a 3-putt, and where his ball ended up in that second shot, I mean, it was a likely outcome. being a 3-putt. So, he'll be fine.
Well, it was a disappointing day for Andy Ogletree, who led most of the front 9 today. What happened with Andy? I mean, he had the Wolves after him today, right? It's really hard. Those last 4 holes are very difficult. But what do you think happened with him today?
Well, he started off brilliantly. He's a great front runner on the international series. He's won 3 times, leading going into the last round, all 3 wins, and he had the lowest score of the day in 2 of those wins. But there's a different level of golf.
It was a really promising start, though, Dom. I mean, it got us on the edge of our seat to go, oh, Andy is going to close this out.
Yeah, I mean, I thought, whoa, here we go. He's going to run away with this, but it's not that easy. Not when you got Rahms, Hattons, and Smiths chasing you. And this was where really it started. He drove it into the right, into Mosh, and got a little too aggressive with his second. Went over the back in a terrible lie. He did well to keep it on the green. And then on 14, once again, just rode down the slope, had another terrible lie right up against the collar, had to be really steep on it, and it's such a high bank up to that green. That wasn't an unlikely outcome.
He's playing for a lot this week, Dom. I mean, I know I spoke to him yesterday in the post-round interview, and he said, it doesn't really affect the way he plays, but it has to.
Yeah.
He's human. It has to affect him. I mean, he's basically just trying to get, secure a spot here next year.
Yeah.
It's his career, it's his life, it's his livelihood on the line. It's hard to believe that it doesn't affect him.
He's a resilient guy. He's got a lot of self-confidence, Andy Ogletree, and this will hurt. This will hurt. This will sow some doubt in his mind. There'll be some seeds of doubt. But once again, after a couple of weeks off in Greenbrier, he's playing really well. Maybe just today, it was just a little bit too much for him. He's still a young player, not that late into his career, but he'll respond to this.
Well, another guy who played very well today, Cam Smith, couldn't do the show without bringing him out. Dom, talk us through Cam Smith's day. Very impressive from Cam.
You know what? Cam Smith, he's been in the top 2 going into the last round in a live event. And every time he's won, and he started in a tie for second, and we thought, well, maybe it is, but it just didn't quite happen for Cam today. It's remarkable. He ended up in a tie for second place. A couple of late birdies, a late birdie there on 18. But he just drove it in a couple of bad spots. He didn't make the putts that he made earlier in the week, certainly yesterday, where he had his second best ever performance on the greens in the Live Golf League.
He's definitely one of those players that might not have his best when he's playing, but he'll make the most out of every single round. He squeezes that round dry to its bone, basically.
It's incredible. So players who maybe sometimes hit it to where Cam hits it, they'll walk off with a 73 or 74. He turns it into a 68, 69.
Let's talk a little bit about our home hero, Paul Casey, who said he was proud to have that home crowd advantage. He was definitely buying into the fans. Talk about his day, Sue-Ann.
Well, I tell you, he was rock solid all day long, all week long, really, and all season long. That drive on 15th was an ouch moment for him. It was, he's been so solid off the tee all week, and to hit that tee shot in that moment was just painful. As like I said, he's one of the most solid iron players out here, and this golf course suits him because he is so good with his irons. He controls the spin, he controls the distance so well. As you said, he loves the home crowd. He's feeding off them, and this was his eagle putt on the 13th. Still in total control here at this point. I mean, him and Rahm were pretty much chasing Andy and Tyrrell, and then this is a birdie on the 14th before his ouchies on the 15, man. That was just a bad moment to hit it out of bounds. I haven't seen him hit that shot ever. I mean, I've followed him quite a bit in our season this year, and I haven't seen him hit that drive. It's got to be a little bit of pressure.
Yeah, probably. None of these guys are immune to pressure. I don't care how many times they've contended and won tournaments, contended in major championships. You cannot be immune to pressure. They're also such competitors.
I couldn't agree with you more, Dom. I had to bring Jon Rahm back into the mix, our individual champion here at JCB. I saw you talking to him, Sue-Ann. He got very emotional. He mentioned his family. He mentioned how he was ready to bring that trophy home as he was asked to do. Can you talk about that as you saw him getting emotional, what you noticed there?
Yeah, I think he was doing all he can to hold those tears back, and you can just tell you can feel the redemption from him. You know, he's come so close all season long, and he wants to prove himself. He still does. You know, he hasn't won since 2023 Masters, and has come so close this year. 9 top 10s. Had to pull out of the U.S. Open, which we all know means so much to him. And you can just tell he really, really wanted to win.
And what a boost for next week, the Olympics.
Right.
You know, he's got to be one of the favorites now to lift that gold medal.
And he's going with one of his great friends, David Puig. They spent a lot of time together. They're going to have a great time, and I know both of them are going to certainly cheer each other on.
Well, there's footage there of the celebration. Photos are being taken. There was a footage of John holding up that trophy. You got to love to see it. But how will this affect the standings? Dom, talk to me nice. Here are the live individual standings, which are projected here.
Well, John did his best to try and catch Joaquim. He couldn't actually catch him even with a win this week, which he did win. But because of Joaquim's tied for second finish, he still got, a 24-point lead over John Rahm. And Tyrrell Hatton now jumps into third place, just overtaking Sergio Garcia there.
All right, let's drop down a little bit to that lock zone area. Sue-Ann, what are your thoughts here?
That's huge for Sam Horsfield, by the way, this week. That got him into the lock zone. Sebastian Munoz out there, Peter Uihlein out there, Charles Howell, rumored to be back the week of Greenbrier. Apparently he's hitting golf balls now. David Puig also outside the lock zone. Now all these players still have one more individual event, two more individual events, pardon me, heading into the championship.
Yeah, we got Greenbrier and, of course, Chicago. Those are the final two individual events, and then we head to Dallas for the team event. But there's going to be a lot of pressure on those guys trying to get in the lock zone. There's even more pressure for these guys trying to get out of the relegation zone. A great effort from Scott Vincent this week.
All right, as you can see, these beautiful scenics here at the JCB. People are sticking around. They don't want to leave after such an exciting week of amazing golf here. The last place that Live Golf League players want to find themselves in is the dreaded drop zone in the individual standings. They know they're running out of time.
There's a relegation zone and an extended relegation zone with our 54 players this year.
We've had this our whole careers. It's about keeping your car. There's a certain cutoff point every year, and that's the way it is.
It's taken him some work in the off season to get ready for this.
It's just, it's hard. It's just hard. I mean, I'm 48. You know, I don't hit it as far as the guys. You know, I put everything into it every week, all the time. I just haven't seen results out of it.
I mean, you're fighting to stay alive. You're doing the best you can do to want to be out here.
You don't want to be the reason your captain doesn't get that team win.
I just haven't been consistent enough. I'm shooting at low scores, and really it's just me that's letting the team down.
You're playing against world-class players. I mean, the talent out here is incredible. I'm going to fight all the way to the end.
Pat Perez has joined the party at the top of the pylon.
But as we know, there's 1 week. All I got to do is play good that 1 week.
And there's that beautiful side of the JCB. Now we have joining us Gonzalo Fernandez Castaño, 7-time worldwide winner, and of course Jerry Fultz, baby, your favorite Live Golf analyst.
Gonzo, the new TV superstar.
Oh, he's great, isn't he?
Yeah, crushing it.
Let's talk about that relegation zone. As we pulled it up earlier, you know, it's got to be tough for these guys to see themselves there. What is the best thing for these guys to do.
Yeah, you know, it's not really new to golf. Team golf and a league like this is new to golf. But guys on the verge of losing their job coming down to the end of the season is as old as time in golf, trying to keep your card on other tours. And it's a ton of pressure.
I mean, they talk about pressure when you see guys like today trying to win tournaments. But real pressure is when you're, as you said, you're playing for your card, you're trying to keep your job. It's the last place you want to be. It's in that drop zone only with 2 tournaments to go.
And Varner did an incredible job today. He was not getting any points at all, and he played just good enough to get into a tie for 20th, get 1 1/4 points, and that's just a little bit of padding right there. Because if one of those guys plays well to climb out of the drop zone, he's still the last man above it.
Now let's get a little bit into Championship Sunday. Would love a reflection from you two. Jerry, since I started this show with you in Mayakoba when Legion got that win, I have been asking you about Jon Rahm's individual championship. We finally got to see that happen right here at JCB. Talk to me about Jon Rahm and his win.
Didn't we predict it this morning, both of us? I believe we both picked him to win this morning.
Yeah, I think someone did better than others, but yeah.
You know, you can say it was just a matter of time. Jon Rahm has had stretches on almost every round. He's had chances to win, not necessarily really late on Sunday, but he's had chances to win basically every event he has played. A couple of backdoor top 10s and then the withdrawal, but he's had a chance, and today he did what he needed to do. He hit the ball beautifully, the same way he did Friday. He didn't have any of those hiccups other than a short putt on 17. I think he was a little crushed that it ended up the way it did with Terrell 3-putting the last hole, but relieved nonetheless.
Yeah. Gonzo, is it official now? Are you officially a good luck charm? Because you told us earlier, and please explain to the fans watching here, you have something to do with this win, perhaps. Is this true?
Well, the story goes, I mean, when we had a little chat on Friday morning, I mean, little get-together in the morning with Abraham Anser and David Puch, and they all played well on Friday. So when he was walking on the range yesterday morning, I said, hey, John, we didn't have the meeting this morning, and they didn't play well. So this morning, 7:40, I got a text from John saying, I'm downstairs, you better come here. And I mean, it works. So I think it's going to become a tradition from now on.
Golfers are superstitious.
You got to love that. Yeah. Can you give us any inside scoop to what the discussion was about this morning?
Well, it was.
Come on, give us something. Give us something.
We talk about a lot of things, about the teams, about the future of the teams, about his plans for the team, about Olympics, and of course about Legion. I mean, Legion. It was all about Legions and about Fireballs, as you can imagine.
You know, I shared a car with him going back yesterday, Arlo, David, and I. So I think we're taking the credit for being the good luck charms.
Can I get a little credit too, just because?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, absolutely.
Affiliation.
You got the good luck charm.
Let's take a look at the team leaderboard here after an incredible day. Jerry, break this down.
Well, it looked like it was anybody's ball game starting the day, and then it looked like Legion couldn't lose, and then with 2 holes to play, it could have actually been a tie with Ripper had they both birdied the last hole, both players still on the course, and both Legions bogeyed it, which could have happened on 18. Rahm 2-putted, but nonetheless, it was so volatile moving up and down the day. Ripper started the day 8 shots back in a tie for 9th place and ended up finishing solo second. Legion climbs closer to the top, to the Crushers with at the overall league standings. They couldn't catch him, but they climbed closer, and more importantly to John, he wants to be one of those top 3 so he can have that extra day off in Dallas, because that's right about the time his wife's expecting.
Now, 4 Aces were the only team to win 4 times in one season until today. Legion 13 now gets their 4th championship. What does that mean? What statement did Legion 13 make today with this win?
You know, they've got 2 stars at the top, and they obviously finished 1 and 2 in the event. But they're either winning or not really contending.
Here are some highlights from today. Legion 13 getting it done.
I think Caleb Surratt, he was the man that had to play well today. He's very volatile. He's the youngest in the team, and he delivered. He started with a bogey on 13, but then he came back with birdies at the 2nd, birdie at the 4th as well. And here, I mean, and then John. I mean, John, he had that stretch of birdies, especially from 10, 12, and 13, which not only helped his individual performance, but more importantly, Legion.
Those are those Legion 13 highlights from today. There's one more.
That's a key birdie putt here from Surratt on 8.
Yeah, he was clutch at the end there for them. He made a few really, really good putts.
think Hatton's round and Rahm's have counted on every single time during the year. Yeah, that's how much they mean to the team. I mean, how important. But of course, they have the number 2 and the number 3 player in the standings. So
yeah, absolutely. And 2 of the top, I guess you could argue top 10, top 15 players in the world if you put Hatton up there.
Well, as we look at these live team standings here, Jerry, break this down for us as you look. Crushers GC still at the top, but Legion making that push, especially after today's championship win. Jerry.
Yeah, but Legion, like I've been talking about top 3. That is ultra important. Ripper now has themselves in the top 3. Legion has a very, very good, almost a lock chance of getting to the end of the Chicago event, 2 more events, and being in that top 3. Ripper's a lot more tenuous. Torquay wants to get there. They haven't won yet this season, which is remarkable, and they did not play all that well as a team this week.
Just an incredible back-to-back between Tyrrell Hatton and Jon Rahm, and that final win with Jon was just so much fun to watch. There's 7 Live Golf League players that are heading to Paris to compete for medals at the Summer Olympic Games. Now, they all know what an honor it is to represent their countries. Watch this.
It was a dream, but golf wasn't part of Olympics back then. It's massive.
It's a great honor. It's special, man. We don't get to do this very often.
It makes me proud, and just representing Spain next week alongside Jon, it's unbelievable, and I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully we can perform well and get a medal.
It's quite amazing once you put your country's polo, and it's a really cool feeling, and I can't wait to be there. I love playing with him. He's a good friend, and we're really gonna work hard to get a medal for our country.
It's special to have a few players from Live playing on the Olympics, and both sides competing against each other and competing for their own countries. That makes it more special.
This is my second time playing the Olympics, so to get that atmosphere, Chile is like waiting for some Chileans to get medals, so it's cool.
My dad is a big sport fan, so we always watched all of the sports to make the team, and I represent Poland. It's always been on my bucket list.
Love to see these guys excited about the Olympics. We have 7 Live players who will be heading there. Gonzo, Jon Rahm even said it would mean the world to him to win gold next week.
He missed the last Olympics because of COVID. I mean, and Golf Nacional, that place he loves. He played well there. He played Ryder Cup. He beat Tiger Woods there. That's a ball striker's golf course.
And is it not the same design people as this one, or no?
No,
okay.
that's a Von Hagen's course. I mean, but that's a real test. So it's pretty much like JCB.
A beautiful view here of JCB. Look at those green hills right there. Let's keep talking a little bit more about the Olympics. 7 guys who are playing there. Who are you most excited to see?
You know, 60 players playing for a gold medal, all in stroke play. It's pretty fun. I'm going to watch every single minute. I was fortunate enough to be able to cover the women's golf at the Rio Olympics, and it's really cool being there. I'll watch every single second of it.
Love it. All right, well, let's check in with Rachel Drummond. She always does a phenomenal job, and she has no intentions on stopping now. Over to you, Rachel.
Well, I hope not. Be awkward if I did now, Christian. So we talk about special moments. First up, congratulations to Legion 13 and Jon Rahm. First win since 2023. Now, we talk about changing moments in golf rounds, and Ogletree and Rahm had that on the 8th hole, and that's exactly where I am. So we're going to have a little look at that footage now. 2 different attempts at the shot. So let's start. Here we go, here's Rahm. I'm in this exact same spot. The rough is thick. Now what Rahm does here is extremely special. He nearly holds it and he saves par. Now, on the 8th hole, that is extremely important. Ogletree, unfortunately, had a similar shot, but he struggled from this lie. So I'm gonna have a go now. They're kind to me. So just off the green, thick rough. I've had to put my golf club in the golf hole. Now what you can't see here is the green is flat at a plateau, then just before the hole it goes steeply downhill. So I'm going to talk about what Rahm faced technically with this shot. So thick rough. What I would like to see you try at home is playing this shot more like a bunker shot. So you're going to need loft on the club face. So I'm going to talk through that. So stronger lead wrist, Left hand, more knuckles. That will help keep the club face more open. Trail hand, also strong. That will help keep the loft. Now, as you take the club out, I want to see a little bit of extension in that wrist. Can you see a little bit of cupping there? That makes sure the club face is open. Now, we want loft because then we can use speed, and we need speed because the rough is thick. You don't want to slow down. Now, Justin Rose once said something very key, that you want to set up for the scenario that you have in front of you, okay? So if more than often I see amateurs with a closed club face, you know, trying to play this shot, and it just won't work. So you're going to set up open face, lead wrist extension, trail wrist strong as well to keep the loft, and you're going to swing out to in. So it's almost like a bunker shot. Right, let's have a little go. So open face, we're going out to in. And it's come out pretty soft. I'm going to take that. I've got a few more situations, but let's have a little look at how Ogletree played this shot and how difficult it really was. So here he was, similar lie, thick rough. Oh. And I just don't think he used enough loft. He obviously didn't get the strike right, and it is just executed all the way across the green. Now we're going to see one more. I'm going to go through it one more time. So open club face, extension in the wrist, out to in. And you want to keep speed because the rough's thick. Okay, so that one's come out nice. And just releasing down the slope. Now JCB, you made this course exceptionally tough for the players this week. But if you set up correctly for the scenario you have in hand, you too could lift a trophy like Rambo.
Absolutely wonderful, Rachel. Great job out there. I just learned a lot. I was glued to the TV screen right there.
I'm just happy I wasn't there with Rachel today, having to show it up, because, I mean, that shot was difficult.
Yeah, it looked difficult, but she's got some skills.
Let's talk about the fans. What about the fans? We really need to give them their flowers. I felt like I was in Adelaide. They've been tremendous.
Yeah, they have. Energetic, knowledgeable. I mean, just having the time of their life. They really did. It was that 18th hole scene was, I don't know, I mean, I think every fan that was here was on that 18th hole when Rahm finished and then when Hatton finished. It was a really cool environment.
And a big shout out to the Majestics for having so many wonderful activations all around. We're going to actually check in with Annabelle Angel on the 15th. She got to check out some of the Majestic activations. Check this out.
The Majestics GC have gone all out this week to look after the English fans. Earlier on, we checked out the Majestic Arms, a traditional, charming English pub right down by the Night. We are now at the Majestics tea party here on the 15th. Let's go put the kettle on and have a look around. I'm joined with Ollie Banks, team principal for Majestics GC. Ollie, tell us a little bit about what Majestics have put on this week.
Well, it's been mega week. It's a home week for us. Obviously, only get one opportunity throughout the year to do this. So we've got our Majestics tea party. There's many of our prospective partners, some family, some friends, and it's been a really big success. And I'm sure you've heard about some of the stuff we're doing in the fan village as well, which has been a great activation for some of the fans to come down and enjoy it. The Majestics pub's been a real hit. Down on the range, we've got Flight Scope. They've enabled us to be able to showcase a lot of data when the guys are warming up on the range before they go out. We push that back into the unit for our guests to see. And then obviously Live Golf, we've got the live feed, especially we've got a Majestics feed this week, which is really cool. So the guys are able to go in there and watch basically every shot of Majestics throughout the day and support them as much as we can, and fingers crossed we have a good week.
You can also watch your favourite player on the Live Golf Plus streaming app. You can watch any shot, anytime, so go check that out. But thank you, Ollie, and good luck with the rest of the week. This has been fantastic.
Yeah, thanks very much for having us.
Not the week the Majestics have been looking for necessarily, but they did a phenomenal job this week. The fans were incredible and their activations were absolutely phenomenal. Big shout out to the Majestics. What do you guys think? Yeah.
Well, I mean, first time I've heard the word team principals since my days in the principal's office at school. I mean, I just panicked when I heard that word. I just got the hairs on my back just went.
They have an absolutely great team organization. They've had it since day one, before we even got to London the first year, and it's impressive how they have built that club.
I couldn't agree more with you, Jerry. Now, the High Flyers are taking submissions for two fans to challenge Phil Mickelson and a teammate in a round of golf at our Live Chicago event. Here's Phil with the details.
You're sitting at home thinking you want a piece. of this. Now's your chance. You and a fellow schmo can take on me and another high flyer at Live Chicago. All you have to do is join LiveX, follow the High Flyers fan page, fill out the submission form and a short video as to why you and a fellow schmo have what it takes to take us on. For more information on how you can be a schmo, scan the QR code. Let's see what you got, tough guy.
I love that death stare from Phil. He's serious. He means business.
You want to take him on? You want to enter it?
Don didn't want to yesterday. How do you feel? We try.
If they give us a tee box or two, we'll give it a shot.
Why not?
Why not?
I would pay to see that. Yeah. I absolutely would pay to see that.
If there's carts and there's speakers and there's beverages.
All right, now next stop, Greenbrier. Couldn't be more excited to head there next. As we get ready to go there, Jerry, what can we expect at Greenbrier?
It's a cool place. I mean, it's kind of like being at camp almost, and it's a neat place to be. The course is fun. It's not a difficult golf course for these guys. Bryson 61.58 last year on the weekend. Pretty incredible, but there's a lot on the line that late in the season with just one more regular season event to go, individual, and to qualify your team for the top 3. So it's going to be intense.
Well, I cannot wait as we get ready to close out Championship Sunday. We got the sun setting. It's a perfect moment. I want final thoughts from the both of you as we conclude this thing. Jon Rahm with his first individual championship, a Legion 13 takeover. Final thoughts from you two.
Well, back-to-back wins from Spanish players. I think.
Of course you go there. Of course.
John, I said it at the beginning of the week. I think Sergio's win at Valderrama served as an inspiration for John. He was standing there, even though he waited for the playoff to Sergio to finish, and you could see how much it meant to him. I mean, you could see the celebrations, the tears on his eyes. I mean, he wanted to bring the trophy home for his family, and he did deliver.
Yeah, statistics would say he's the best player in LIV Golf, if not for Bryson DeChambeau, maybe outranking him now because of his performance in the majors this year. It was overdue. It was pretty cool. I hope he plays really, really well in the Olympics because that's a big thing. He's coming on. That'll be his 4th straight week under a lot of pressure. 2 LIV events and a major championship. So he might go in there needing a little more rest, but they don't start till Thursday, and I think he'll be fine.
Could we see this momentum continue from Legion 13 in Greenbrier? Does that course line up well with this team's gameplay?
Well, every course lines up well for Jon Rahm and Terrell Hatton, but they're like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get from the other two sometimes.
I like that.
You got a very young green guy in Caleb Surratt and another young guy who's still relatively green in Kieran Vincent. So you never really know, but you got those 2 top guys. It's going to be hard to play really bad.
Can you imagine 5 wins over the same season for Legion 13?
I could imagine that, Gonzo. I would actually love to see it. All right, well, as you can see, what an incredible week we've had here at JCB. It doesn't get more beautiful than what you're seeing on this screen. Thank you so much for watching the Club 54 post-round show. We'll see you in Greenbrier. And as always, you guys got this piece with me? Peace.